I woke up feeling sad today. I had the best weekend. It's so much fun. But I woke up today sad, sort of feeling like the futility of everything and where am I going and what is all this for, all of this study? Where am I feeling? I'll pull out my little emotional guidance scale. Maybe it'll help. I don't know what all this is for. I know that I have like a month off and I spend it studying all of this stuff and wanting to talk about it. That's what I love. That's what I'm naturally doing. No one's pushing me to do it. I don't have to do it. I just like it. But why? I'm looking at it, I'm like, why? You know, the more I get into someone, for some reason during this process, if I'm really reading their material, I get curious at some point. I'm like, well, how did that person die? I almost felt like compelled to learn about the author. So I learned all about Helen, and that's pretty depressing. And then the person that the Course in Miracles came through, that's pretty depressing. And I feel like I can hear it in the material too. You know, in coaching, it's an interesting thing. The program I went to, I used to always believe what people say. And then I went into that program and it was really helpful for that because I learned, it made me a much better leader and manager too, but I learned to hear what they were really saying behind their words. It's their energy, it's how people say things and frame them. And they're saying something completely different than their words usually say. And that helped me a lot because I couldn't figure out how people were sort of duping me or deceiving me. I was so confused. They'd give me one message. And my ex, I fell in love with a whole fake person, or I married a fake person. I don't know that I really knew what love was at the time, but it wasn't even real, really. And I couldn't figure that out for so long. And it helped me a lot with that, to realize like how you match up words, actions, and what people really say and how they communicate it. We give it away, and we give ourselves away in everything we say. And maybe it's the same with books. They give themselves away. Like Alan Watts is such elevated, incredible material that I love to read. I still love it. It doesn't change how I feel about it. I still think he has incredible points, but it didn't work for him. It didn't get him the peace. And maybe that's just so we could stand on his shoulders because his thinking and his concepts are so incredible. And it's a reminder, like, just because you know it intellectually doesn't mean it's actually going to help your life. I mean, isn't that why I'm doing this? To have an amazing life. I'd love it if I could say I'm studying all this to give it to other people so they have amazing lives too, but I'm realizing I can't do any of that. I can give myself an amazing life. I can share it. And then everybody has their own choices to make. Then I thought, well, maybe I should be a psychologist, and since I love it and study it anyway, I could maybe get some letters behind my name, learn all about psychology, share that because it's fascinating. And the lady that wrote the Course in Miracles, or it came through her more, I thought she was a professor of psychiatry at Columbia. She was a professor of medical psychology. And she went back to school in her 40s. And I was like, that's where I'm at. Maybe I could do that. But then I was looking at programs this morning and it just kind of got me down, I think. It's probably not a good move. I came up with all the reasons I couldn't do it. The programs seem There's not really any good ones near me. I don't really want to do it online. And it's not my background. It'd be so much easier for me to go back to school for business, which is what I was looking at. It's much easier. And I enjoy it. I enjoy I could get an MBA, maybe focus on project management, and I enjoy that kind of thing. I do. Getting into psychology, but a whole jump in. I don't like the diagnosing and the DSMV and DSM-4, where you gotta label everyone and do all these intakes. And granted, you could learn to do that and then do your own thing in your practice, but I went through all that as a patient. I didn't find it that effective, and they haven't moved the needle very much. It's very still scientific analysis, personality testing. There's something else going on, and I would want to get into it to bring in this conversation, right? Science of the mind. Like, we're treating the mind in the wrong way. We're constantly focusing them on the past. We're diagnosing people with all kinds. I was diagnosed with so many things. They're not real. Depression and anxiety are down here on the bottom of the emotional vibrational scale. That's what's going on. You don't need medication. You need to get in a better mood. You need to figure out why you're living down there and do this work. How do we How do we get up on the vibrational scale? What I'm trying to do, it seems hard. And I don't live down there anymore, but where am I today? I mean, I woke up, especially after reading that stuff, which I guess wasn't a good idea, feeling discouraged, I guess, futility, that everything's futile, and even these people who knew so much or had such a big spiritual purpose. I mean, bringing through the Course in Miracles, it's an awesome book. I like it. I came back to it. I was excited, but something's off about it. I can feel it. It's just, something's off about it. People aren't magically healing with it, and that's what it really is supposed to be, a Course in Miracles. Who's doing miracles? I'm sure there are some people that have studied it that have gotten a few, but not enough, to take a chunk out of Big Pharma's profits. And reading about her, it's clear why. She was in conflict about a lot of it, and it says conflict in here 5 million times. She thought the voice was very clear, but Abraham, and he speaks through Esther, is a similar thing, like someone speaking through a channel, a non-physical speaking through a physical channel will say how you feel matters on the message you get. So if you're not feeling great, the message, you're under the influence of something other than source. So even if this thing had a very specific message to give her with a very specific voice, I still think it gets sort of, stuck in the interpreter. The interpreter still changes it. I love Abraham and Esther because it's so positive all the time. It's so positive. It's so consistent, a message. Always feel good when I listen to it. The Course in Miracles is hit or miss. It's a great message, but people aren't getting to where they should be with it, including me. So something's off. I need to start looking for a job I have, but I have all this stuff that gets in the way. And this is all about attraction. I mean, I'm studying it. It's all about attraction. Get happy and just attract. But I have stuff that weighs me down. I don't have a financial concern, but I start to get this huge scarcity conversation because I'm not working and I need to be working. Even though it's okay, we're fine financially, but I start to panic because I think I lost so much and I've lost everything before. And the last time I took a minute, like things crashed and burned, and my background check, and I don't want to feel that shame anymore because I wouldn't be here in this circumstance without the things that have happened. But I do. It comes up. I don't want to have to say who I am, and my resume doesn't really reflect who I am. I'm so gifted and would be the best, even executive level leader someone could hire, but my resume doesn't show that. I stepped down doing lesser things, and I was in a step up at 2 different retailers to be like an executive level leader, store manager, which is really what I need on my resume, but both situations were just unethical. And so I backed out of promotion. But I know that was for the right reasons. So why does it bother me? The universe has to reward that, right? I mean, I guess it doesn't work that way, but it's not going to hold me back. It's how I think about it that holds me back. But here I am thinking about it that way, even with that knowledge. And that's really annoying. Feeling scared a bit about it, even though I don't need to be. It's about sourcing it. It's really annoying. I feel like I should be beyond that. I feel like I should know exactly what I want to study and be drawn to it and have a strong faith that it's the right thing to do and not be so easy to shake. And where is it all going? In the end we pass anyway, and I don't know that it gets anywhere. Wayne Dyer was amazing, he had a great message, but he died of a heart attack. A lot of his kids were going through a lot of stuff, and it probably really upset him, and he had a divine healing of leukemia, but something was going on with his heart. Even the guy who divinely supported his healing, I've studied it more and learned how that happens, but he's in jail for being a sexual predator. At least Wayne Dyer didn't learn about that. But it's that he has a really strong well-being, vibration well-being, and Wayne Dyer brought his faith and expectation of healing, so it was co-created to heal him. A lot of people weren't healed by this guy. Some people were, so it has to do with expectation and faith. But that's depressing. He also was taking advantage of women through that practice. I guess we like to think that people that get somewhere more elevated than others that do these things. And Louise Hay died peacefully in her bed in her 90s. I think she probably really had that sort of elevated experience of peace, but it's rare. And so what's the point? Part of me is like, why bother? I mean, your development probably happens on its own anyway, and it's going to be in another life, and I don't know. Can't really help anybody else, and it seems I can't even help myself or apply it myself, and I am, and it's just a moment. I've been doing amazing, and it's really the fear that nags at me with scarcity and pushing through school or work or what's next. And sometimes I think I want to go to school just because I don't want to push through the whole work thing. I want more time out of the workforce. The DUI is even older. I can't keep holding myself back. I have to believe that the right thing will come to me and it won't matter my background. So, thanks for listening. It's a discouraged morning, and I'm sure it's just hormones and the sad story I read, and I don't know why I seem to want to look at where things came from. Maybe it matters. Maybe that's why I want to look at where things came from. The channel it came through. Maybe something's going to come through me, and maybe something is coming through me, and it's reminding me of the incredible importance of having your vacuum plugged in before you start vacuuming the carpet, and making sure I'm spiritually plugged in before I do this stuff, because the message is different. Maybe it's just as simple as that, Emily. Look at the message and look at how awesome it is, but it could have been even more powerful if their vacuums had been plugged in, because I don't think Helen's was, and I don't think Alan's was. And they still managed to come out with great stuff, but it's mitigated its power. I'm going to think about that for